You are wrong, my friend, and this is not you, and you are not meant to grow into this person. Certainly you do not wish to die this way, but even in a more pessimistic scenario should not have bothered you, as you would not have been a strong proponent of that position. I mean, you not winning the case would not matter to you, right? There's no such thing as luck in any game, and to be frank, in life as well. And if that does exist, which it may perhaps slightly, seeing that every chance is conveniently taken to define or give birth to luck after ideas have been ruthlessly battered that would so wonderfully sharpen a person is taken into consideration. Apparently, people tend to believe this to be rather devoid of logic forever. People who attempt to explain these moments as luck have rolled up their sleeves and worked hard while somehow managing to screw the grit backwards. So if there's an idea, whether genuine or otherwise, that a man has anything, even one idea which is faintly in that observed set of skills and is believed, then they must feel that a little bit encouraged, or better still, motivated, and ought to follow the inner voice. So much for motivation, no? But right here is where they neglect to remember just how fundamental discipline is. As previously mentioned, motivation by its definition will not always be present because of its capricious nature. Not every day. Quite a good number of days, other people, including me, do not find motivation. Sometimes I incredibly supercharged and very much ready to strut into a gym, and other times I am literally slow jogging. The conventional issues of commencing, no energy, and recuperation for psychological equilibrium. You will understand later that all of these stimuli were nothing but blanking deceives crafted by your body. Come after the break. After the initial rough patches, getting is painful, and initial progression is difficult, but when the hydraulics and the blades are moving, you start to feel quite powerful. Now, nothing seems too big to be accomplished. I do understand this feeling, and I have to say that it is very much relatable. There are many people who absolutely hate experiencing pain. Hard work is not their favorite thing to do, and so it is so clear a lot of people take success lightly because, yes, it is. You know, how is it feeling this contempt, having to slouch and shame and all that, and it is dark, at some point nearly monotonous. The variational strategies are starting to decline, and so is the willingness to quit. People seem to be frustrating and loud, while less worried, I quit, I don't want to be here anymore. Saying so brings its own delighting discomfort. Unarguably, the most notable fragmentation exists in a few people deeper within, and that is slowly putting effort and time towards something or making themselves available when the outcome is less than desired or blank. In general recomp comparison, to give out your measured results with an apparent set of evaluation to overcome by tasks proves to be monotonous. In larger scope is how badly do you want it, really? In the same way you wish to exist to live or breath or sleep. In this lens, perspectives can shift. It's astonishing how the society could casually neglect deep thinking to this. There is a bit limited, if any, granularity from where the motivation is coming, and this ends up being the core attribute. Here is the startling question that it begs. How did you even make it this far? Well, put like that, the answer seems obvious, and there are no shortcuts. These are different paths, but at the core, it's you against yourself at the end of the day. If anything can be said at all, there are eternal efforts. Just make sure to rise and open your eyes. Greet tomorrow, then the next day, and then the day after that, and just keep going. In other words, you are the only one to impose limitations on yourself. You versus you. If you don't get that, you are already beaten. As soon as someone opens their eyes, they should be moving. They should be going to work immediately. Most won't, and I don't blame them. So don't be surprised at the age of 70 when you look back and begin to think, I didn't do anything. Because that is what you did. You waited for life to happen to you. Yes, perhaps you have enjoyed some aspects of your life, but there will still be a gap that will feel empty. And as for me, I don't possess such a gap. But the life you desire is on the other side of those tough conversations, which you are too chicken to have. Hard times make hard men make soft times. Soft times make weak men, and weak men, they will create the hard times again. This is where we are. Soft men, hard times. Living in fear is admitting defeat, and at some point every individual must confront an element of change. One word, however, serves as a precursor for change, defined through constraints such as structure and order. You want to find balance and shape the version of yourself who is docile yet fierce. It's much better to be Michael Scott, the manager, than to be an employee. With no discipline, you attain nothing. Each person will crumble when placed under stress. Discipline encapsulates doing what you would rather not do, but doing it as one would do something they enjoy. That, if ever you wondered, is a piece of wisdom. Truce. Let's allow me to applaud myself for a change. There are numerous ways one can be harassed in life, and I've grudged it. So much so that one could say that bad days morph you into a softer and shyer version of yourself, and in some sense, there's solace in aiding character flaws that heighten demeanor. Plan it anyway, even if it doesn't pan out. Don't do anything and notice that nothing will personally change. Upon the restoration of atomic power, macro-nuclear civil power were claimed to have obliterated distraction. Speaking even such a banal emotion as fear is daunting. So let me make things easier for me for my toughest times. One day I can say I Jordaned into something needing explanation. The more desperate the situation is to block you off into a more bottlenecked, guarded space like a dragon's lair, the better. This journey is beyond comprehension. The greater the personality, the weightier the tale. Not standing up to your merit is amongst the top unthinkable nightmares. Always giving up, forever postponing, and one fine day, masquerading as an aged gent, sighing with eyes closed that I could have achieved phenomenal things. You must abandon the clubs, the countryside, and give up trying to fit in. But why are you dressing up to leave the house? Because you are on a mission. What is the purpose of that solo practice session in that blistering heat? You know that you have somewhere to be. Those parties, yes, they are always in stock. Women, yes, they will never go. The more serious you become with your girlfriend, the more controversial you seem in public. Controversial, yes, because it means you toil, it means you hack, you whittle, you smooth, and when it is your chance, you get to fly. Strange because people applaud you after you accomplish your purpose in life. At that moment, you don't even need it. The applause that follows when you achieve your targets is the ultimate commendation anyone can provide. And considering that it is always the last one, you have to grant it to yourself first. That stands true. If you feel that too much and too little attention is not enough, there's no other optimal answer. You are aware that you are progressing in the right way. Life can be brutal at times. What does it matter? No one is coming to help you. Do not expect miracles to happen. It is what it is, and you need to live with it. What do you intend to do? Go for it or do it. Every one of us is an underdog one way or another, and so should the best in the world. Having never reached my final destination, that principle, that I'm invincible mentality, pushes you through every single challenge. Become the one who loves the suffering, the muck, the deformity. At some point, there will always come a time where all you need to feel is disgust. Over and over again, you see unskilled people seizing every opportunity presented to them and thriving. It's that moment when you wish you could restart. Pull yourself out of your cozy bed and make something happen. You don't care how many times you shatter. What matters is how many times you get up. It's not a selected group of gifted stars that are given the privilege of mastery. It's earned through hard work and persistence. The same goes for them too. From a medical standpoint, one would consider it depression, which is very challenging to deal with. But the world literally does not move with you. Pauses everything while you claim to be progressing. Speaking metaphorically, every day takes the promise of reward as long as you are willing to face risk. Supposedly, the Oort cloud is the farthest observable object in the universe from Earth, but at the same time, that cloud is nothing but a children's asteroid, hundreds of thousands of light years away. Life can be described in few words as merciless, but a beast might decide to emerge ever so more potent. Sadness and hopelessness don't warrant dwelling upon, nor should they serve as a foundation of existence. Defeat, when it does come, is more of a motivation. Becoming great has always been a wish. To change the history is not for the faint-hearted, nor for those who abuse, but for the undeterred, stubborn travelers. That's it. That's the beauty of the battle. One knows they have to fight without any fundamental inclination to cease. No matter where the future may take you, there should be little question that putting in the effort towards something great is merely depression right side up. In this chaotic world, making decisions is not simple.